Welcome to the Northeast Philly podcast on Broken Bell Network. This week we're joined by author and podcast host Sean Selby, author of No One Likes Us, But We Do Care, The Anatomy of the Philadelphia Sports Fan. Now, here are your hosts, Chris, JV, and Keith.
That felt weird. Not doing it. I don't know. I'm the intro guy. Like that felt weird not doing it.
Well, can you talk like that? Can you do that voice?
Do the movie phone voice?
Yeah, good enough for me.
Yeah.
Stop making me do it then.
All right.
Hello and
I got you on
welcome
the
to
next one.
Movie Phone.
That's way better.
Way
That is
better.
Way better.
Remember, it was brought to you by PHL 17 and Q102.
Oh man,
At least he didn't say Eagle. At least he didn't say Eagle 106.
Q106, yeah.
Welcome to Movie Phone. If you know the name of the movie you like to see, press 1 now.
Enter the first three letters of the movie title now. Dude, this is all coming back to me. This is like so retro. This is crazy.
Yo, Sean, how much cooler was it to use Movie Phone than it was to rifle through the ink at Orleans 8?
Oh, so much. Like, Movie Phone was great because then, like, you were younger, right? You're like, oh, I want to hear the new trailer. It was all loud in the phone, explosions and shit. You couldn't hear anything. You're like, ah.
What am I listening to?
Yeah.
Right? You're like, I think he just got shot.
1-800
movie to find out.
1-800-777-film.
Yeah. Dude, it was wow, what a time. What a time. Kids will
to be
never
alive.
know.
No, now you can reserve spots, and my son went to the movies last night to go see Minecraft, and it was at like 8:30, and I dropped him off at like 8:15. I'm like, wait a minute, we had to be there at 7:30.
Mm-hmm.
I remember
Good
seeing.
seat.
I remember seeing, what was it? The Fantastic Four, and we had to get there early to save seats. And we don't travel in fours. There's like 19 of us.
You can show up late now and tell a motherfucker to get out of your seat.
Yeah.
You can.
Yeah.
I took my kids to see Minecraft on Friday, and the two kids and me, $50. I'm like, jeez, this is why I don't go to movies anymore.
Is it worth seeing?
No, it was awful.
Okay.
It was an awful movie. It was terrible. The kids loved it. I was like, I was lost. I play games, like video games. So I had no idea anything about Minecraft. It didn't really matter because they explained it well enough. The movie itself was awful. Like, Jennifer Coolidge is in it. I don't know why she's in the movie. She had the most useless role of any movie I've ever seen of all time. There's like literally no reason for her to be in the movie.
Mom?
Yeah. She has no reason to be involved in that project whatsoever. They just like, hey, let's throw a name up and like let's like write something real quick and throw her in it. It had no bearing on the story whatsoever. Like, it was ridiculous. It was such a bad movie.
I was hoping that it was going to be like one of those. JV, you've seen Napoleon Dynamite, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Chris, you've of course okay. So I was hoping that it was like, I thought it was going to be terrible from the first trailer, and then I caught wind that the guy who directed Napoleon Dynamite, and then I was hoping like, oh, maybe it's going to be like Napoleon Dynamite. I didn't get it at first, and then realized how brilliant it was, but it's not. It's not even like that.
It's just really silly. It like same deal. I saw Napoleon Dynamite in the theaters, and I was like, okay, this is very dry, but I was like, laughing and stuff because of how awkward it was. It wasn't awkward. It was just silly and stupid. Like, it was just
$175 million.
yeah. I can believe.
So apparently,
Sometimes the names. That's all you need is the name.
yeah, that's all you need. All the 17 and 8-year-old kids are selling it who grew up on it. So would Minecraft come out like 2011, 2010?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
My kids loved it. I was
for like 20 years.
I wasn't sure if they were into it or not. And then afterwards they're like, we loved it. I said, what do you give it? 9.5 out of 10. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, that's much better than I was giving it.
They also
my
think
9-year-old hasn't stopped
Dino
begging me.
Nuggets is like the high end.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do we, you know what I mean?
It came out in 2009, and then was officially came out in 2011.
Wow. I think it was that old.
Yeah, I started playing it like maybe in 2013 or so, maybe 14. And then it got weird. Like, it just got like progressively weirder. So we only played it for about a year. It was fun. It was like Legos. But listen, it's not why we're here. Sean,
I know.
you
Apparently, we're doing movie reviews now.
doing movie reviews. So that's what kind of
For
happens on
movie
the
reviews.
So that's kind of what happens on the Northeast Philly podcast. This is like our overflow show of horse shit. Like, it just kind of whatever we catch up with. I'm not saying you're a horse shit, my friend.
No, that's what we do on our show every single week. We do the same thing. Hey,
Drunk-
Drunk Bills fans.
Drunk Phil's fan. So I got to throw this out real quick. So Drunk Phil's fan reached out to me yesterday as I was going to get a haircut. And we're coming on the show. I'm going to respond to him. I just got the date finalized today with JV. And the name looked familiar. So I texted him back and I'm like, do you have a brother Kevin? And he's like, yeah. And he was like, I was like, just so you know, I went to high school with him, graduated from Roman, and I grew up in Somerdale, literally right around the corner from you. He was on the 1000 block of Cheltenham. I was on the 900 block of Carver. I was like, what a small world. And his stuff is phenomenal. I just want to, he makes me crack up all the time when he posts his stuff. Like when he did That's Amore, just giving up meatballs to Aaron Nola. You would love his stuff, Keith. And your dad would love him too, because they despise Nola.
And the great thing about them, like they, it's funny. Like sometimes the whole my bro against me. They live and die by every pitch, which is great because like it's 162 games where every inning's like that inning was so and so, and they have memes set up and people's faces on the bodies, and they'll reuse them sometimes, but at the great moments, like you're all right. Here comes the Nola one, like he does it clouded with a chance of meatballs as Aaron Nola standing there, all that stuff like that. So they do a great job, man. Their content's fantastic.
Their content is hilarious. People have probably heard about them before they heard about us. Okay.
Oh yeah, absolutely. My wife says, I was telling my wife how I like the story, and she's like, I just want to say I followed them before you did. I'm like, I don't like is this a contest? But I am with him. I am all about making the Phillies theme song this year, Pink Baby Boy or Pink something. Like I don't know the song, but it's.
I'm a metalhead, man. I have no idea. That doesn't sound like a metal song to me.
You kind of actually helped us out with this because your book, No One Likes Us, but We Do Care. It is kind of like a is it okay to call it like a compendium, memoirs? Like it's some interviews. You're pulling in the entire kind of like. You're pulling in a lot of experiences as one cohesive to tell a story. Fair enough?
I think that's more than fair, Keith. It's funny. My wife's trying to write a book as well, but she's more on the side of doing research and stuff like that. So Pink Pony Club, he said. I don't know that song.
Maybe the new Ghost song. I think it's coming from Ghost.
Oh, well then I'm definitely.
Oh, is that the
I hate that band.
As Papa
5 is out now. Like I'm
Chappelle-
totally just getting into this whole ghost scene. Do you know anything about this, Sean?
Chappelle Roan.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right.
I was gonna say, that doesn't sound like a ghost
Mary
song.
on a cross. It's everywhere.
I'm not in like the ghost thing and Sleep Token. They're the biggest things right now. I can't get into either one of them right now. But anyway, so my wife's trying to write this book and a lot of it's research based, and my book came out way before hers did, and she got I think there was a little jealousy there, a little bit, and I said, look, there's a difference here. 90% of the book was either interviews I did with people or my own knowledge. And then the other 10%, it was research. Like especially there's a section where I kind of do a background on some guys that are looked at as underdogs and stuff like that. So there was a lot of research involved with that chapter. But most of the book was just knowledge and things that I remember or recall or memories and stuff like that. So, but I think that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. So I do have a quick question about the book. Beginning of the book, it's dedicated to Greg. Who's Greg?
Greg was my stepdad.
Okay.
Yeah, he passed away suddenly in 2023. So, I know he basically took place. If you read the book, you'll know like my biological dad was not really a part of my life. So, Greg kind of became that for me. And he wasn't the biggest sports fan. Just not that he didn't care, he just wasn't into it. He was a big golfer and stuff like that, but he didn't really know team sport that well. But he was the most supportive person. Like he would have been all over this. Like he would have loved the book. I know he would have. So yeah, so that was it's kind of a dedication for him.
Yeah, I saw your grandfather had a huge impact on you, and then you married into a kind of like a dynasty,
legacy.
which was like what? That's really cool, right? And
Yeah.
I'll let people kind of like that was like as I'm reading it, you really kind of like you kind of buried the lead on that one. Beautifully done. But I won't kind of I wanted to ask you. You have a really nice emphasis on this, like you kind of really thread this with underdogs no more, which is a really kind of like I remember the transition, right? I remember us getting finally taken seriously from 2008, and then the Phillies kind of started that trend, and then as we kind of progressed with the Eagles all the way up into the first Super Bowl title, we had that underdog label and mentality, but I think we were operating on as a city of champions at that point. All of that to say, that's a great setup for what do you think of the current attitude of fans now that they have multiple in over 2 decades, multiple World Series runs and a title, 2 Super Bowl championships, appearances, postseasons are pretty consistent. Do you think we have shifted to the pompous side? We're I don't want to say we are Kansas City Chief fans, but I want to say have we treaded into an area of this is not something I have seen. What do you think?
It's so interesting. And Villanova too, right? Like Villanova gave us a college championship. It was just crazy. Two. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right, Chris. Two. And the only teams that haven't succeeded in the last, I mean, really longer than that. But what I was gonna say is from 2000 on, right? The last 25 years, we've had an immense amount of success with all our teams. The Flyers and Sixers have been, on and off, and making runs here and there. Well, not really the Sixers, but the Flyers have made a couple of runs in that time. But I think with the newer generation, and it's kind of where the book kind of ends off. I mean, I'm not spoiling anything. It's not like this is it's not like someone dies at the end of the book and you didn't know about it. We all know where we are as fans right now. We all know where we stand as fans of these teams because of the fact that, what you just said, Keith, with all the championships we've had, the playoff runs, the success we've had. I think the newer generation over the last 25 years is experiencing sports in a different way right now because all they know is, wow, most of our teams are pretty good. This is crazy. Carrie, that's funny. Scott Air is watching. There goes the neighborhood. I was just talking about Scott Air to you guys before we jumped on.
Yes, you did. That's why I didn't want to distract you, but
I love
the
Scott.
name.
Scott Air, for some reason, was one of my favorite Phillies in 08, and I don't know why. He was clutch for us, and I loved him.
I was always I'm a lefty, so anyone that came in as a lefty, I was like magnetized, and I liked Scott Air before he even became a Philly when he was with the Cubs and stuff. So when we got him, I was ecstatic.
A Cubby.
Yeah, I was ecstatic when he came here. If you ever have a chance to have Scott on, you got to have him on. He tells some of the most amazing stories. He tells some in the book. That's not even the tip of the iceberg. I mean, he has crazy amount of stories. He's a great guy. I love Scotty. But anyway, yeah. So I think these kids don't really know. Kids, 25, and under, or whatever. They don't really know like what it's like to go through things like the heartbreak of not winning and not getting to the Super Bowl after 18 years, and then when you finally have a chance, your quarterback throws up on the field and throws a couple of bad picks, or even worse, in my opinion, seeing Rondé Barber running down the end, the sideline, going the other way in a game that was 100% Eagles game. Tampa Bay never lost 32 degrees or never won under 32 degrees and all this other stuff and all these, the 3 championship games before that and all this other stuff. And it just came crashing down, and you were left with the reality that we might not ever see a championship in our lifetime. Like, that's kind of where we're starting to go. And now here we are, we're starting to get spoiled. So that's a long-winded answer, but I do think that we are getting spoiled. Pompous, maybe, maybe to a degree. I don't like it. It's a weird feeling. The Eagles go out. I think it's a perfect example. The Eagles go out, they win the Super Bowl, and they ditch half the defense, let them walk for. And granted, some of these decisions that they made were the right decisions. You're not going to pay Milton Williams and Josh Sweat crazy amount of money for 8 sacks. Like, you're not doing that. That's insane. Those teams, the Patriots, they're going to regret those. They're going to regret those deals, I think.
I'm 100% in agreement with you.
Mm-hmm.
So then the guys you resign from the Chiefs and the Giants, their names are slipping me right now, but you sign them for a fraction of what those guys signed for, and you're probably going to get the same production out of between the two of them to match up for Josh Sweat or whatever. To me, that's a win. But losing the safety, losing CJ Gardner-Johnson, that sucks. What are you going to replace him with? Hopefully Justin Simmons, in my opinion. But despite that, there's still not this like big worry with Eagles fans. It's like, we're gonna be right back in it again next year. Look at the other teams. The Lions, they're losing guys, this and that. I don't know. Is that like being arrogant, or is it being kind of, seeing things through green goggles, green glasses, whatever? I don't know.
So here's what I'll say.
Go ahead, Chris.
Here's what I'll say to that. Like everyone was worried because after 2022 run, they let all those free agents walk and everything else. And I get it. And now and I think what the difference between 2022 and 2024 is Vic Fangio. Plain and simple. It's Vic Fangio. And he didn't leave. Jonathan Gannon left. It was a new defensive coordinator that no one really knew about. Everyone knows what you get out of Vic Fangio. It is what is expected out of Vic Fangio expects a certain amount out of you. And if you're not going to do it, you're not going to play. He told Bryce Huff, you're not playing. And the best thing that happened is Eagles management didn't get involved. So that is going to be the key to their success this year on defense, in my opinion, is they have Vic Fangio. So I don't know if it's just arrogant or they're just confident. Like that's, they're kind of looking at how he's built. And you're right. Maybe they do sign Justin Simmons. The fact that he's still a free agent, maybe there's something there. But that's just, I think it's because of the Vic Fangio thing. I think that's why people are a little bit confident.
Well, let's get JV's opinion on this one, because JV, you're kind of like a transplant. What it's like. As a Pittsburgh fan, you have watched the management kind of do this, that, and a third. So, do you see a change in attitude? And I'm going to specifically point out baseball so far, the baseball season. Like, obviously, we've won, so we are the Super Bowl champs. Is that somehow affecting fans' perspectives of how we should last over 162 games? And I'll let you go from there.
Yeah, the other day, our friend JJ from the play-by-play with JJ said he hates the fair weatherness of the fans and how quickly they want to implode the team after a 3-1 loss to the defending World Series champions. And I'm like, that's always been the Philadelphia fan mantra, but you're only seeing it now with the Phillies because they haven't produced since 2008. Yeah, they had the run and they looked real good the last couple of seasons, but they haven't, they went out and got Turner and Harper and spent all this money and it just hasn't materialized in a World Series ring. And then you see them want to do the same thing with the Sixers and the Flyers. Granted, both of them do deserve it. But then, like, you're still in this honeymoon phase after the second Super Bowl with the Eagles. It's just a different mindset. Like, it's changed. Like, I know people that were from Boston and that area. And when the Patriots started winning, when the curse was finally broken, they said the same thing. It changed up there. It changed the way they were looking at things. Yeah, they had the Celtics and the Bruins, but it was different for baseball and football being the two biggest passionate sports in the country. And I see it now changing, and people are expecting the Phillies to get involved and be that next team to keep this high rolling from what the Eagles just did. Let's keep it rolling through the summer. So
Yeah, if it's okay for me to jump in here, I'm sorry, I just jumped in.
yeah.
As soon as there's an opening, you grab it and then you become big on the screen. It's an amazing technology.
That was a dangerous thing that back in the day you used to say. Never mind. I'm gonna leave that alone.
Wait, you can call pause. Like that's a thing. You can call pause.
No, I think you're 100% right, but it's always been our mantra to react quickly to things. So, something I mentioned in the book. I grew up on sports radio. My grandfather would always have it on, and that was kind of my eye-opening experience, I guess, in a way, where it was like, wow, is this really what Philadelphia fans are like? And as you get older, you kind of realize, like, no, it's not necessarily the case. It's just, Hoagie Joe from South Philly is just calling in every week to just bitch and complain, and just for the fact of bitching and complaining. Although growing up, late 80s, early 90s, whatever, listening to that stuff, wasn't a lot of winning going on in this town either. So, although through the years, has it changed? No. I mean, it's still the same way. You listen to sports talk radio, it's still the same way. Like you were saying, it's the quick reactions, we got to get rid of this guy. We got to fire, Nick Sirianni because they're 2-2 going into the bye week. Things like that. It's like, come on, like, be a little more realistic here. Like, you have to have a little sense of patience. And I especially after, like in the case with Nick Sirianni, it's like, dude, he just went to a Super Bowl 2 years ago. Like, I didn't like the fact that he was yelling and screaming on the sidelines after he beat the Browns either. But I wasn't like calling for his head because of it. Like, I was just like, man,
You were
if they
like,
don't
grow up. You were just telling
Yeah.
me, Gray. It's like we all get out of hand. We all say some stupid things.
Listen, after that game and that 2-2, I do the Philly podcast, which covers football, and I legit got Keith will tell you, JV will tell you. I get very passionate. Like, I went at Keith last week on the Hall of Fame Club podcast, and then I went at my co-host Eric because he was like, I want him gone. I'm like, if you fire Nick Sirianni, he's going to get hired in a minute. I'm like, they're 2-2.
Mm-hmm.
They're 2 drops away from being 4-0. Or no, 3-1.
Right.
They just got
Saquon was like the guy who was like, my bad. We should have won this one. It's on me. Like,
I think he get up for it.
Yeah, I think he.
I don't know.
I think he had a good season.
I'll let you
He
know.
was all right.
I'll let you know. I don't know. I'm still not sold on it.
Yeah. We'll see how it works out.
Yeah. Can you give us the gist of, because the no one likes us mantra, it's a Jason Kelsey thing. I believe he sang that, right? He sang that during the first win. But and we don't care, and this is the whole.
Jason Kelsey had a few too many garage beers that day.
Yeah. What a few.
The premise of it is, but we do care. How do you explain that to someone who's like, but I don't care, right? I'm proud of that. But what does it mean that we actually do care, and in what ways has it like impacted like fandom here?
So even though it's the title of the book, it's not like the main story of the book. Like, it's a section of the book. It was kind of something I took out of it, and I said, I think this would be a hard hitting title because it would catch people's attention, and I believe it does that. And people are like, wow, what the hell's that about? That's why I kind of put that subtitle in there to kind of like reel back in a little bit. But so what I meant by that was, and I truly believe this, and that's all right, Gary. So Gary's one of my co-hosts on Corner Pub Sports, and Gary's the I guess more of the jokester of the.
He's
the crew.
funny, dude. I've watched you guys for like good time. He is a funny dude, and no filter is what I'll say.
No filter at all. No, sometimes
I love him.
A little too much. I'm like, dude, I don't have a dump button, man. You can't say that.
But you can. There's no.
Well, to a degree, like
to a degree.
Here's a line, like, dude, you can't.
That is correct. So here's how you dump now in a show when you're on a podcast. When you don't approve of it, you go like this. No, you just go like this.
They're blacking him out. We love him though. We love him. He's
Yeah, I've watched your shows a couple times. It gets a little
we get a little out of hand.
I like it.
And we've actually been well behaved over the last like couple months too. So
You've kind of, since your book came out, I've noticed you've kind of like tightened up for some PR.
yeah, a little bit. I've had to. I think it's about time we got to get back into the crazy show. I'll put it this way. We had a segment. It's one of my favorite segments ever, and our other co-host Mike still talks about it and he hates it so much. We did a game called "Is it weightlifting or gay porn?" And basically had
isn't that like an old
That
Adam
sounds
Sandler bit from his first album?
I don't know.
Oh my God, Barry!
The only
My
thing I
name
remember
is
from Adam-
Barry Larkin.
Fatty McGee is the only thing I remember from Adam Sandler.
Toll Booth Willie.
I do vaguely remember that segment.
We are
Yeah.
definitely two guys having sex in here. There are no dumbbells, just our balls.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
I didn't even know about that. That's great.
And then the guy's like, that's definitely two guys having sex. He goes, nope, two guys working out. You got that one wrong.
Dude, the reactions like were that's gay sex. I'm gonna win this thing. He's like, I don't care. You know, they're going back and forth. Oh my God. It was, dude. If I can, I think I have it segmented. I can send it to you guys because it is laugh out loud funny. Even listening back, knowing what's gonna happen, I still laugh my head off. It was the most ridiculous thing we've ever done. Like it was crazy and insulting for people that would be offended by it. But hey, I mean, maybe they're just lifting weights. I don't know.
No weights in here, just my balls.
I'm gonna have to look that one up.
It's off of They're All Gonna Laugh at You.
They're all gonna laugh at you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah.
What was the question? I'm sorry.
I don't know. This went
Something about the title.
really sideways.
No.
Why we do care. That's
Why
what
do we care, man?
God damn it! It's a Sunday too. So in the book, I do hit on it. I said, we act like we don't care. We say this and that. Oh, we don't. We're from Philly. That whole song, and we don't care what you think of us, but we do because whenever something comes up on national media, perfect example. I hate these shows. I don't watch them. But if Stephen A. Smith says something, or Colin Cowherd says something, or someone else says something, but that fucking Nick Wright, any of those guys say anything negative towards Philadelphia, it gets plastered all over every Philadelphia fan group, all over Twitter, all over everything. Well, if we don't care, why are we doing it? Why are we giving these guys attention when we don't really care about what they think? We don't care about what the fans think. And then you look at the comment section underneath, and it's, yeah, I'm a Cowboys fan, and they're 100% right. And then now you're arguing with the Cowboys fan who's something's wrong with him anyway. And now you're arguing with them. You're going back and forth with this guy. Now you're getting aggravated, and it's ruining your day because you're fighting with this stupid Cowboys fan over a comment that some other asshole said. It's like we do care. We absolutely do care. We care what people think about us.
I'm pushing back.
Okay.
I'm gonna push back. I think we care about, did we irk you enough? Did we? Do you know what I mean? Like, and your co-host brings up such a good point. All the audio of gay porn that you had to go through to get audio for the show.
I'll tell that story in a second after your point.
Boy, that is such an
It's a great story.
amazing point to bring up. Like, dude, you had to go through it. You're like,
some of them were easy to find. It was just audio, but there was. All right, just go ahead.
no, dude, you can't. There's no
right.
saving yourself here.
So some of them, the majority of them were audio, especially the weightlifting ones. They were easy. Yeah, there was a few where I was like, I got to get a really good sound, like ball slapping sound. Like I got to get like moist asshole sound. I got to get something going on here.
Naturally, right? For the
So
whole.
I would, you go on the old Pornhub, right? And I would scroll down to the screen just enough where I could see the timer, right? And I could see, and I would just kind of scan through it. Oh, that's a good one. I'll just put that one in there. And then, like, at one point, I saw some dude's face on a pillow, like biting down. I'm like, oh God, there's too much screen here.
Wife comes in and you're like, what are you doing? Just as the podcast, babe.
Well,
I promise.
That's exactly what happened. She came down the steps and she's like, I'm gonna go pick up the kids from school. What the fuck? Like, what are you do? I'm like, it's for the show. She's like, we're gonna talk about this later. I'm like,
This
we
is a
sure are.
conversation. Sean, this is a conversation, Sean.
Yeah.
So
I
she went off
support
and-
your hobby. I love it. I thought this was healthy.
when she came back and she's like, all right, so now you got to tell me. And I told her, she's like, oh, good God. When she listened back the next day. So, she's pretty, look, one of the things that got us, that we had an interest when we first got together or whatever, we both love South Park. So she does have that sense of humor.
Yeah. She's good at it.
So I know it's in there. Yeah. I know it's in there. She doesn't want to bring it out and tell everyone. It's in there.
She's a good egg.
She was laughing her ass off. And then my co-host, Mike, his wife is same way, very tightly spooled. And she was like, this is unbelievable. This is absolutely well done. Well played.
I can't wait to download this episode tomorrow and pull the clips from this show because it's gonna be phenomenal.
Fantastic. I'll send you the link. All right, I'll find it. I'll send you the link to make it easier for it. I'll tell you where. I think it's like 45 minutes into the show or so. Anyway, whatever it is, I'll timestamp it. So I love this too because your chat room is like our chat room. You got some spammer in there. Yo, I got free locks. Blah blah blah. This whole thing. And then, you got Gary going, Lise, get lost, you douchebag.
Yeah. I appreciate you, Gary.
Yeah.
I muted him. I blocked him. I already did that.
It's sometimes, man, it gets insane with this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we had one we thought was a real person going back and forth. Oh, I love Philly sports. Oh, cool, man. And then all of a sudden it's like, come see my free picks. I'm like, are you kidding me? I've been having a conversation with you for the last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You're our one listener 3 hours into the show, and now,
Did he guess it right? Was it gay or was it weightlifting? No.
Speaking of listeners, thanks, Mom. I appreciate you for tuning in.
Actually, I can fire up my soundboard. I'll play two of the clips are on my soundboard, and we play them regularly just to piss the guys off. It's actually pissing.
Yeah. What the rest of your algorithm then look like the next time
I'm pretty sure
after you're done with the research.
Oh, I went on incognito, so
Guys, what is this? Is this working out or gay porn?
Well,
I'm gonna drink. I'm gonna drink to that.
That's either a deadlift or an afterthought.
Well, I was gonna ask, like, was I the only one drinking tonight? What was going on here? I'm drinking some Guinness. What do you got? What do you got there, Chris?
I got garage beer.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm doing a very simple seltzer.
All right.
Yeah, I'm not a
beer person.
I'm not a beer person.
I got in trouble last week because I drank a lot during the Phillies game. We were hanging out and that bullpen was just making me drink. That game
You
last
should have
Saturday.
seen the wall in front of him, like of cans just stacked. Like he wanted it. Like he couldn't get further away from the screen.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it wasn't as bad as the Super Bowl, which I had just found out. So,
All right, so I'm trying to find the other one. I got one here. I'm trying to find the other one. Hold on.
This is good. All right, hold on.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
Got any guesses?
All right, give me hit it again.
That's what she said. She said. That's weightlifting.
Yeah,
so
I think that's weightlifting.
Now that last one right there, that
was not the tip. He was weightlifting.
No. No, I'm telling you, I've been to college. I needed to make money before. I've heard that sound.
Oh Jesus.
I got to be honest. I actually don't remember. I actually don't remember that movie.
All right, you don't have to Google it right now and share the screen with us. No.
All right, here's the other one.
Yeah, buddy.
Any guesses?
It's like I want to say I know it, and then I want to say I don't.
Right.
Oh, you want to hear it again?
Knowing
All
it.
right. Oh, you want to hear it again? Is that what it was?
Yeah, buddy.
I think that was the one with the guy's head on the pillow, and I was like, all right, I think this is enough. I think I
Sounded
got
like there was a whip in there.
that was a hand. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
That's
Hopefully
what
we
they
don't get
refer to
copyrighted.
as the kids refer to as clapping them cheeks.
Those kids who enjoy all those championships.
Yes.
Yes.
So
kids.
like, so you to segue
What a way to
back
promote
into
your book, bro.
the segue back into about the Nick Wrights, because that's who that guy sounds like. I think for me, when it comes to stuff like that, I always say it's just a lazy narrative. It's just a lazy narrative of that's Philly sports. Oh, pink cheeks.
I know, that's what I was laughing at.
Jesus Christ. I'm just gonna drink. I'm gonna mute myself and you guys take over.
Isn't
But
that
I
the
do get what Chris is
pink-
saying. It is
pink
lazy.
pony club cheeks?
It should be the new Philly song. Pink
It's a new
Cheeks.
Philly song, Pink Pony Club Cheeks.
I thought we sent that guy to the minors.
Get on it, Colin or McCullum or whatever his name is from Britain.
So, Sean, you've kind of like you take us through. By the way, you get, if anyone isn't, I'm going to vouch now. You are very factual on this. You said a lot of that's from memory. How much of this did you have to go like, all right, I have to go back and go back and correct this, go back
Make
and correct
sure
this?
this is right.
Yeah, like how long was that process? Because you talk a lot about major events, and so how do those facts get peppered in there? Or are they just from memory?
So yeah, there was a few things like the fog bowl. I was so young. I was set. I don't know how old you guys are. I'm not going to ask. It's cool. But I was like 7 years old, and when the fog bowl happened, and I remember.
I love this guy. I love him.
Oh God!
And he's so
We're so
right.
lucky to have him as a friend.
He's so right too. Like,
Yeah, I'm 47 years old, so
okay.
I vaguely remember the fog bowl.
Yeah, so we're not that far apart, and I don't remember all the details. I remember second half fog rolled in. I remember the final score. I remember Keith Jackson dropping a pass. I remember that stuff, but I didn't remember like some of the extra details. So yeah, there were some things like I didn't know that there was a helicopter that had to be forced to be landed. The television crew that was flying around, hovering, getting the aerial views had to land. Stuff like that. I didn't know any of that stuff. So, and then some of the details, what the score was at this point, what it was. Same thing with the World Series, the '93 World Series. Like there's parts in that I was 9 at that point or 10 or whatever it was. And, I remember Kurt Schilling pitching a gem in Game 5. I remember 15-14 game and stuff like that. But it was a little inconsistent, whatever you want to say, intricate parts that I just don't really remember. So
I was at that game, 15-14.
Yeah. They were up big too, weren't they? In that game?
Yeah, they were up for a lot.
Yeah.
So bullpen problems even back then. Okay.
I was at that game, and I was at the game where Kim Batiste committed the error in Game 1, and they won in extra innings.
Oh God. Yeah. Who pitched the Game 1? Was it Mulholland or Green?
I think it was Mulholland.
Mulholland.
Yeah.
Another lefty. See, I love those lefties.
I love Mulholland's pickoff move. I don't know if anyone remembers.
One of the best pickoff moves in all of baseball ever.
It's so weird watching that from a lefty. It messed me up the other day when I saw Walker. I was like, oh, that's so ugly. But it's kind of, it looks unnatural.
Even
and think about like him throwing that hard just to the glove, first base glove.
That's the one that gets me, is how quick he does it and how hard it is. It's like, oh, at least he can do something right.
He does have a no hitter.
He's pitching. He's pitching. He's having a good season so far. Walker. I've been pleasantly surprised with his work so far this year. They needed that.
He'll ruin it. He's the JV of the Phillies. Like, I find ways to ruin all of our drafts. He will find a way to ruin the season. Don't worry.
So Walker. So let's look at how this is different from last season. Starting healthy, starting in a rotation, not having to kind of catch up. Not he had spring training, he had all that, which is a good positive, right? All that. Do I need 158 innings out of him? No. No, I need 120 solid because if Ranger can't give me 100 solid, I'll take 120 for 18 million. That sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah.
And that's where you're at with this contract, right? We all know it's bad. He has to do well, and then I think there is room to move him at this point. Let him have a few good starts, but then if he's rolling, he's rolling. I mean, this is what happened before.
100% agree. If the contract's the only reason why he's still here. You know, it's. I mean, there's no other way about it. He would not be a part of this team if it wasn't for that deal. He would have been let go last year, and but you know they're in that spot and they're making the best of it. He's making the best of it too. I mean, like you said, if he has a couple good starts and then you know Ranger comes back and you're ready, you know he's ready to go, then you go, all right, you know what, maybe you can move him for something. You get something for him, that's a win.
I think Ranger has more of an upside if you trade him. If Taiwan Walker has 5 to 6 good starts, and then it might be like, oh, maybe we got to train Ranger.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
Ranger's either going to start late and end up short, or start on time and end up short. I agree with you. Yeah, I mean, I don't see the upside to Ranger, but he has a better trade upside for sure.
Would you go 6-man rotation?
Oh God, no! Oh
God.
Jesus Christ!
This guy trying to start some shit up in here, like he doesn't even fucking know what he just did.
Oh my God, Sean!
Jesus.
Next thing you're gonna say is that Mundo Sosa should be an everyday player. Like you're like this is just.
No, I'm not. I'm just throwing it out there. Do I think they should? No, I've always been against that. Unless you have like, you know, 17 games in 18 days. That's one thing. Like, all right, let's roll with the 6-man for a couple of weeks. You got double headers planned. Aside from that, you go 5-man because you want Wheeler out there every 5th day. So I don't take the ball out of his hand whatsoever.
He's like the whole Chris Wheeler thing just doesn't, or Zach Wheeler. I'm sorry.
I do it all the time, dude. I do
Just
it all
Ross.
the time.
The Zach Wheeler thing, just like the fact that the Mets just let him walk and they just didn't support him and they made him buy his own ticket to the World Series, and now he's this model of consistency for the Phillies, who, you know, they're probably going to win every game that he pitches.
I don't really see New York teams making that mistake and letting people walk to Philly with that kind of audacity. It's just what you're saying isn't like I guess it was just a rare thing that you're describing. It wouldn't happen again, certainly.
I mean, that guy. We're talking about Saquon. I mean, I don't know. Saquon still has a lot to prove. I'm not sure I'm sold on him. I'm still not 100% sure.
I always say if the Madden guys have to go back into the room and reprogram shit because of something you did halfway through the season, you're amazing.
It's insane.
Like the New York Giants officially made Hard Knocks.
Changed their whole platform, the whole
thing. They were like, "Nah, we're not going.
Championship. We'll take champions now.
We're not going on that show." No.
Oh no, you didn't hear? It's restructured.
Yeah.
Not one NFL team's like, "Nah, we're good."
Yeah.
Well, you don't have a choice. If that Hard Knocks comes knocking, you have to do it. It's part
what are they? Aren't they doing college now or something? They're doing
they are now making it that it used to be.
No, they're doing UNC off-season UNC.
Yeah, that's what they're doing. Yeah.
Yeah. But for the NFL is they are now re-rolling the dice, and it used to be you had to finish at this point. And
it's anybody now. You're right.
Anybody goes.
I can't. I want to see video footage of Howie Roseman making trades and be like, I can't believe they answered the phone when Howie called.
But you can't say no. It's not like if they say, yo, Dallas, yo, Buffalo, yo, KC, whatever, if you've been chosen, Eagles, you have to do it. It's a camera crew, it's the NFL, they're in your house. You don't say no.
It's funny, Chris, when I don't know if I'm sure you guys have seen the footage of when they got Cooper DeJean and how ecstatic he was, because they thought I forget who was picking right before him. They thought whoever that was going to take him. As soon as they took whoever they took, they were cheering, they were going nuts, and then we're going to say, you know, we got Cooper DeJean, and they went crazy. Same thing when they got Jalen Carter too, the year before. But
Yeah, it was the Rams. The Rams were supposed to.
Yeah, when the Rams
The
did that.
Rams were supposed to draft him. You just think
I love
about
that
it.
stuff. I
Like,
love that stuff.
So let's just I know we're jumping around, which is awesome because we're talking about Philly sports, but let's just recap. Philly's made a trade with Dallas to get Devontae Smith. Philly made a trade with Washington to get Cooper DeJean. Philly signed Saquon Barkley from the Giants. Like everything just comes back full fold, and it's amazing. And listen, I post a Cooper DeJean draft story like a couple days after the Super Bowl because it's a phenomenal story. And there was the Washington GM was so pissed off because Howie was like, "You're gonna give me this," and he's like, "No, I'm not giving you that." Like Howie wouldn't budge, and Howie was like, "I'm gonna budge because this is the guy they want." And then a guy that it was, they got Quinyon Mitchell. They really could have got Cooper DeJean, and then they got him 13 picks later. It's bananas. Like it just doesn't happen. And they were both really good this year, and they both could have won Defensive Player of the Year for Rookie of the Year. Mm-hmm. On that side, and then the Jalen Carter thing is just comical. Like you just let him fall. He was the best player in the draft, mm-hmm. and he fell to the Eagles. It just stuff like that. Just I think people are going to trade. I think people are going to draft now based not on needs but the best player because of what the Eagles did and how they built the foundation of where they're at and the chance for them to be really successful for the next 3 to 4 seasons.
Mm-hmm. I know Jamie was going to say something.
Yeah, I was going to say, wasn't the Jalen Carter, like part of that was the fear of the backlash from the car accident. And wasn't there somebody like the year before that it was? That there was an issue and it became the player became a bust. I can't find it now, but I thought like the year before somebody had a character question like that, and they ended up he got drafted early and then couldn't play at all, and people were worried about that with Carter, with what was going on.
Yeah, you got that, and then you have you go back years. You go back to the Warren Sapp. You go back to Randy Moss. I think we're in the spots where they're just drafting the best player. They're not gonna. It's not about needs anymore. It's about unless you need a quarterback. It's about the best player that's there.
Yeah, because even if the best wide receiver is sitting there and you got a top 5 wide receiver, it's not a bad thing to have 2 top 5 receivers in your lineup anymore. It's go get them and just figure out how to play them and win from there.
Well, it's kind of like how the Eagles figured it out this season, right? Yeah. They brought back the dominant running back in the league. Now that you know it's going to happen. You saw the running back get paid. It's going to be draft class heavy towards that. People are they're looking for the answer now to the Eagles. They can either, there's 2 options. You have an answer for the Eagles. You can either vote their shit be made illegal, or you could draft better. But how do you draft better? And I think maybe, Chris, you nailed it. Sean, is there a way to draft better with guys like Howie lurking in in the corner?
Yeah, I don't know, because the draft in itself is such a. You think because as much as we love Howie, we can't forget some of the other picks that he's made in the past. Like the J.J. Arcega-Whiteside and the Jalen Reagor. The players he passed on. One of them is one of the best receivers in football, and Justin Jefferson. So it's such a crapshoot. Is it that? Look, there is credit to be given based on your scout team, based on the decision to draft this guy, player A over player B and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But there's luck involved as well. It's like a fantasy draft, same thing. You think this guy might be something, but you're not entirely sure, and you're kind of rolling the dice, and it's such a tough situation to be in. I think now there's other teams that absolutely suck at drafting.
Yeah, I was just about to say luck has nothing to do with 20 picks over 2 years.
No, like the Raiders. So, well, that's different. That's different. Doing what he's done with
class shit.
Yeah, what he's done with the trade and stuff like that, and getting the comp picks back for all the players they've lost and stuff like that. Oh, absolutely, 100% master class. But there's teams like Detroit who generally don't draft well. They took Gibbs early, which obviously is a good pick. He's a great player, but you had so many other needs on that team. The Raiders can't draft for shit. You know, the Browns can't draft for shit. Like there's certain teams that just can't draft for the most part. And you know, when you look at the balance there, Howie has done a really good job over the last 3 or 4 years, especially that one draft. It's been insane. I mean, I think every player, I think was a 2022 draft. I'm trying to remember, maybe 21. I forget, but like almost every round, the player they took has made an impact on this team. So like
Rager, I think you were right. Rager is like the last bust, all out bust for
like
us.
19, like 2019, something like that was when they started. Like that's when they turned it around. You know,
Yes.
like, since then they've done a nice job.
And people were pissed, but I think Howie's also credible because he always gives guys that he takes from a draft that 3-year window to, like, you're on a like, and a lot of people it doesn't sit well because you're on a limited man roster and that's a spot, but at the end of the day, he picked you and he stands by his. So like, there is some honor in that. Has he ever let go a draft pick earlier than 3 years?
Man, I mean, I'm sure like a 6th or 7th rounder. I'm sure he has, but
Doesn't
like,
count.
yeah, like an earlier pick. I don't think so.
So according to NBC Sports,
Yeah.
from last year, they ranked Howie's draft classes, and their number one draft was 2018, where he got Dallas Goedert, Avonte Maddox, Josh Sweat,
Sweat.
Matt Pryor, and Jordan Mailata.
Mailata.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And I'm pretty sure Matt Pryor just came back. Didn't he resign this year?
I thought he
Look up
resigned.
there,
Then
look that up, David.
I think they resigned him and then they cut him.
They cut
I
him.
think they cut him. Yeah. Huh, that's a good question. Yeah, Gary to send out a first rounder. I agree. Like they earlier picks, I don't think they've cut loose an early pick, at least for in the recent memory.
I think that goes a lot to say to like how he kind of owns up to it and allows that to be like it's a reminder for him that he's got to answer for guys like that, and he will. I think he does. He's really good at press conferences.
So unless they released Pryor recently, he signed a 1-year contract on March 27th.
Of this year.
Of this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Apologies. All right.
He just came back.
Yeah,
This is his second stint with him.
Second. So you think about the 2018 draft and the Eagles traded their first round pick. Do you know who they traded and got? You know who they traded it to in 2018?
2018 was that?
Minnesota? Was it?
Nope.
Wasn't 2018? No, that was the year. Wasn't that the year before when we had the staff?
They had the 32nd pick because they won the Super Bowl.
So they would trade it with. It wasn't with Dallas, was it?
I'm thinking of the
No, that was like 3 years prior.
Yeah.
They traded to Baltimore. And Baltimore drafted a pretty good quarterback.
Oh,
That was
that's
Lamar
right.
Jackson.
Right,
Is
that's right.
that LJ's year?
He was the last pick of the first round.
Wow.
And Jefferson.
But ours has a Super Bowl and he doesn't. So yeah.
Oh, right. I'm so sick of this, and I've been asking every guest that we've had on, and I think I want to get this from you. Can you tell us why? And you wrote a book on it, so you can actually be an expert. Why is Jalen still being labeled as not elite quarterback?
Yeah, I think when you look at the list, I mean, there are other guys I would rather have ahead of him. Absolutely. I can tell you that the dead stop where I would put Jalen, because I've seen lists of putting Justin Herbert above Jalen Hurts, and that's where I'm like, nope. That's where I say no. Lamar, Burrow, Mahomes still, and then I'm kind of like, that's where I'm kind of like thinking, and I'm sure I'm missing someone. I'm thinking of someone else too.
All right, let's name the
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen. There you go. Yeah, Josh Allen definitely.
I was about to say so I'll even go further. So Josh Allen, I would absolutely include. I'm gonna go a little further here, not to piss anyone off, I'm not making a joke about it, but like if we're gonna say, what about guys like Gus Swayze?
Who?
You don't know who the great Gus Swayze is?
Oh, Gus Swayze. Yeah.
It's Tampa Bay's quarterback, Gus Swayze.
That's their quarterback.
No, it's I stopped calling him his real name.
Oh, Baker.
Baker.
Oh, Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, Gus Swayze. Gus Swayze.
See,
No.
to me at least, Baker, he hasn't done it. He's been the crap guy too many times. Like he's been the bottom guy, and maybe it's partly the teams he's been on, but I don't consider him elite yet. Like I don't think I think he's another Brad Johnson.
I'm only bringing him up because people have said Baker Mayfield is more elite than Jalen Hurts.
I
Just saying those things.
I put Mayfield in the category of Herbert, a really good quarterback. But I don't know. I'm take winning over those guys, and it's not to say like Trent Dilfer won with the Baltimore Ravens defense and all that stuff. Jalen's done way more than what someone like Trent Dilfer did with the Baltimore Ravens. He's been more than a game manager. Anytime you need a first down, they're getting the first down.
97% audible.
Or he makes a pinpoint throw. He's an accurate quarterback. Like I think we that's something we don't take for we've taken for granted. Of the days of Donovan McNabb, as great of a quarterback as Donovan McNabb was here in this town for many years. The bad throws, granted, he didn't throw interceptions, and that was always the thing. Well, his touchdown to interception ratio is great. The worm burners he threw in key situations, oh my God, like it was brutal. Jalen Hurts doesn't do that. The one thing that Jalen Hurts does that drives me nuts is that he holds the ball a little too long sometimes and takes sacks. But then he started, like this year was the first year I felt that he started saying, no, I'm throwing it away. When he rolled out, he would throw it away. There's nothing there. That's the sign of a good quarterback. The sign that take what the defense is giving you and go from there. And the bottom line to me is that he wins. He's one of the most winningest quarterbacks in the league since he's been in the league. So I'm taking that over accolades player of the week honors for Baker Mayfield. Throwing them so I don't know.
I am not putting Baker Mayfield above Jalen Hurts. I'm not putting Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert threw 4 interceptions, and somehow, the analyst on Get Up or whatever were talking about, I'm still giving that to Justin Herbert over Jalen Hurts. Like, just say, I need analysts just say that you hate the Philadelphia fan base because they're annoying, because they call you out on Twitter, and you hate that. Like, just come out and say that, and I'll respect you, because ain't no way you can look me dead in the eye, Chase Daniel, and tell me that Justin Herbert is better than Jalen Hurts. You can't tell me.
We do care.
We do. Yeah. We do. Because it's a lazy narrative. And you're right.
That's 100%. Yeah, 100%. 100% it right there. It's the lazy narratives. It's the lazy takes, the going back to this, bringing up Santa Claus from 60 years ago. Like, come on.
The moon landing didn't even happen. It's
ridiculous, and they constantly hanging their hat on that because they know it's going to get a rise out of people.
Right.
So
I agree that it's while it's lazy, it works, and they know that Philadelphia fans care that much that they're going to get upset that you keep bringing this stuff up and you bring up old things. Like, it's just the way it is.
And I was like Shady the other day. There was a trade made. Dallas traded a 5th round pick and got Joe Milton and a 7th round pick. And Shady's like, oh, yeah, Dak better watch out because Joe Milton's going to come for his job. And I'm like, and here's me. I'm like, ain't no way a Philadelphia Eagles podcast is defending Dak Prescott. Joe Milton is not taking the starting job away from Dak Prescott. And anybody who thinks that just is, again, you're looking for hits or you just don't know football. And I was like, it was like one of my most popular tweets ever on X. And, the fact that I'm defending Dak Prescott just drove me nuts. And it's funny because we actually ended up having on the Philly podcast, we had Micah Parsons' brother on, and we were talking about that. And I was like, listen, I'm going to talk. I'm going to keep it real, but you're not going to tell me that Jalen Hurts isn't elite. I care about wins. I care about, when you need him to throw the ball, he throws the ball. And then people get mad. Like the Philadelphia sports media playing victim this year to the Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown situation was not on my bingo card.
Mm.
Was not on my bingo card. And they got killed by everybody who called in, tweeted out, and they were just like, "What did we do? We didn't do it." Okay.
I
I think
wanted
I
to-
have audio of because you were defending Dak. I think we have audio of you and Dak.
I hate you. Well played.
That was
And boom goes the dynamite.
well done.
I feel tag teamed. Oh wait.
Have you? That's what happens when you don't want to learn how to use a soundboard. You just you get Did you guys ever watch Prince perform at the Music Hall of Fame after he got snubbed by Rolling Stones?
Was that when he played my guitar gently weeps?
Yeah,
Which is the most incredible, like one of the most incredible solos ever.
correct.
Yeah.
So that's to me. So that if you haven't ever caught this, you go and you check this out. It's Prince gets invited by what is it? The Traveling Wilburys. You got who do you got? Tom Petty up there. Harrison's kid, I think, is maybe playing on the guitar.
The ghost of Roy Orbison was there.
Yeah, I mean, like it was pretty cool, and I think they have Prince come on to do something, but like maybe the week before, the month before, the Rolling Stone puts out the 100 greatest guitar players of all time, and Prince isn't anywhere on it. So he goes to this thing, and he basically just shreds. I think Petty definitely knows what he's doing. Petty gives him the stage. He's like, "Let's do this. We know what this is all about." It is very clear that this was a big "go f yourself" to Rolling Stones. I feel like that's what the dagger was. I feel like during the Super Bowl, I feel like the dagger was absolutely that "go f yourself." You don't know what you're talking about. Let me show you what I'm about. Then go to sleep. You know?
I think that throw to Devontae was that dagger that you're talking about. Dropping that dime right into his hands. That was, hey, I'm elite. You need to get over it. Yeah.
Anytime he's been asked to make a big throw, he makes it. I mean, honestly, well, sorry. I know you're from Pittsburgh. Are you a Steelers fan?
Now, I'm actually just a Pirates fan. I did convert a few years ago to the Eagles.
Okay. So when they played the Steelers, right? It was they're gonna gang up and stop the run, and then Jalen just all over the field. You know,
Yep.
It was like, oh, is that what you guys wanted to see? You know, that whole thing. And it was like, he's capable of doing it. It's just that why are you going to force him to do something if he doesn't need to? If they can run the ball so effectively, we've seen him take the team on his back. He did it in 22. He took the team on his back. That's 2 years now where he, could have been an MVP candidate. I mean, I don't know about this year, but like, if you really want to look into it and like the things he's done over those two very successful seasons, he does everything you need him to do. To me, that's what an elite quarterback is.
Yeah.
He made the playoffs with Jalen Reagor and Quez Watkins.
Mhm.
Like, do people forget that? Like, that 2021 team had nobody, and he still made the playoffs.
And how many
Granted-
different coordinators?
First
Over
round.
it. Like, he keeps winning, and everybody talks about all these these guys have had these offenses around them, and now he's doing it, and he's doing it without bringing these offenses, the same offense every year, having to relearn it. He's one of the smartest and most talented quarterbacks in the league.
And I am not faulting my GM, my quarterback, or my head coach because they know how to build a team, and Nick Sirianni knows how to coach these guys, and Jalen Hurts knows how to lead these guys, and Howie Roseman brings these guys. I don't care if he had the Avengers on that team. That is not my fault. The league should have did something about it. If you didn't want him to have all these players, you should have did something about it.
Mhm.
The Bears should have offered Saquon Barkley more money. The Giants should have re-signed Saquon Barkley. It is not my fault that all the players that we get on this team turn out to be phenomenal players. I'm not faulting them. No, I'm not faulting Jalen Hurts because my GM knows how to build a team.
At least a team that knows how to run a play that you don't know how to stop, but you have to vote on it and make it like it's to a point now where you're lying. Now you're even lying.
Lying.
You're lying about why you want to like, and I give credit where credit is due. Everyone but Sean, like, I think it was McDermott, wasn't it?
It was McDermott.
McDermott. Okay,
That was
think it was.
ridiculous.
I
Yeah.
think it was everyone but him, who said no. It's definitely not because of the injury thing. That's obviously horseshit. Like, what, we don't even back what he's saying. So,
Right.
but it's one of those things where, yes, you are now being penalized for being so good. No one ever had to say like, oh, we're banning the quarterback sneak. Oh, we're banning the taking a knee. Like, there's so many non-plays that aren't football plays that you allow. Like, you just can't stop this one, so it doesn't.
What about when the running back's running for a first down and he's kind of getting gang tackled, and then your other players came up behind him and start pushing him forward? It's the same thing. Like,
it's the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And I've had people tell me it's not. It is the exact same thing. I wish I had the clip. There's a clip before Nick Chubb broke his leg like 2 years ago, where he gets stopped, and the linemen come up and barrel into him and push him for like another 4 yards. It's the same thing.
100%.
And even on the other side of it, it's the same thing as you get stood up and then 9 defenders are suddenly getting over there and hitting into a guy. That's more unsafe than what the Eagles actually are doing.
You know what else? And this was a tweet or whatever you want to call it, an X, whatever.
I still call it a tweet.
It's a zitter.
I hate that friggin' app. But anyway, what's more unsafe than any of those plays is forcing a team to play on Thursday Night Football after they just played on Sunday, or forcing Monday night, Saturday after
or an 18th game.
Yeah, or an 18th game. Perfect.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Like you're
Or the new kickoff
critical.
rules.
Yeah.
Kickoff is still one of the most dangerous plays where even though everybody's got to sit there, everybody's barreling down the field. And now, like, oh, we're going to put you up even closer to midfield if you kick the touchback. Well, now, like, okay, you're going to penalize us or we put our guys in danger.
Mm-hmm. They should just start on the 25 and just
ball.
Ready to go.
Everyone starts on the 20. If you're going to water it down, so whatever you have now done, because thank you, JV, you've just explained. I don't fully understand it, and I have read it. Don't act like I haven't tried to.
What, the new kickoff rule?
Yeah,
I have no idea. I've given up on it.
Have you? Okay, so it's not me. It's not like I'm not being stupid. It's just
my wife asked me about the kickoff rule. Like, we were like week 12. He's like, "What is this?" I'm like, "I don't know."
Okay,
I've thrown in a towel. I don't even know anymore.
Yeah.
Sean, do you get it, or you just lie like you do?
I get it, but like, I don't like it. I mean,
all right, this man's smart. He can read. Okay.
Like I said, and like you said, like, don't tell me you care about player safety when you're going to have an 18th game. You're playing on Thursday night. You're playing on Saturday.
Traveling to international countries.
Like, don't tell me don't tell me you care about player safety.
Yeah.
Just say you don't like the fact that the Eagles are so good at it. It's not my fault that it was the biggest offensive line in Super Bowl history. There was 59 Super Bowls, and that was the biggest one ever. And now you care?
Yeah, say it. Just say it. You're punks. You don't know what to do with it.
Nope.
If you said that, I'd be like, all right, man, cool.
I respect it.
Yep.
Just
I
don't like the Eagles because they're so good at it.
Yeah, we're punks. Just say it.
I mean, McDermott, watching him, and I can't stand Elliott Shore-Parks, but what he did when he was asking him those questions, McDermott was completely talking over himself. And he's like, well, you ran it this many times. You ran it the second most times or whatever it was. And he's like, oh, yeah. They ran it, I think, 5 times in the AFC title game, and they only converted on 2 of them because Josh Allen isn't Jalen Hurts, and their offensive line isn't the Eagles' offensive line. And like you said, Chris, don't fault the Eagles because they built their team the way they did, and they can run plays like that and be successful at it. So does that mean like the greatest show on turf should have gotten rid of Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holt because they're so good, or Marshall Faulk? Like, it's ridiculous.
I was about to say, what about Falk? Right?
Yeah.
You got to get rid of Falk can't play in the game now because he's just too good.
Good.
Like, not pass. That's what it is.
like now think about it. You know, if it doesn't get banned, so now you're going to go back there. You're going to have AJ Dillon, Saquon Barkley, and Jalen Hurts back there. That's like 1,800 pounds of squat muscle right there. Like,
I don't think it's going to get banned this year because it was a 16-16 split from what I understand, and then they tabled it, which basically they're saying the NFL's going, oh, we need to see.
That means they need 8 more coaches to get on that, right?
I don't think that's going to happen, at least not this year. And even if they do, because of what you just having AJ Dillon here, okay, 3rd and 1. You don't think they're going to get it? Like having these running backs, Saquon and AJ Dillon, and you still have most of that offensive line together, they're going to figure out something else. They're going to figure out a way to make it work. And maybe it's
see guys like Mike Allstott coming back and doing the Wildcat. He's going to take it from the quarterback and just turn around. He's just going to put it behind him, and then he's going to block and make room.
Bring back the fridge.
Yeah.
Win the refrigerator Perry.
I want to put Jordan Mailata back there. You all right?
Oh, that would be awesome.
You got the quad. You got the quad squad back there with Dylan, Saquon, and Jalen. Quad squad.
Perfect.
No, I just want to see Jordan Mailata back there, and I want you to be like, just stand there and be like, because now you got to make a business decision.
Yeah.
You have to make a business decision.
Some cornerbacks will walk in. Oh, fuck this.
His Kiwi voice is great, though. He's like, "Oh, sorry, mate. Didn't mean to run you over like a truck." He's like, "I feel real bad about that, but like, hey, it's a game. Gotta do. Gotta do."
And here's the Fosters. Go.
Maybe my bitch. Here's a Foster's. Yeah.
Like, hey, mate. Oh, did you see that? I really fucked you up on that, eh?
When he did the Bane voice was awesome.
Australian Bane.
Australian Bane, like what?
Oh, Batman! I see that I've trucked over you in this game of American sport.
You sound more like Sean Connery there.
You definitely did.
Okay, I'm not.
There can be only one.
What a lovely singing voice, mate. It does kind of sound like Sean Connery, though.
Yeah,
it kind of is. Like when I've noticed that when I do the Bane, I'm like, this is like a Sean Connery type of vibe.
Yeah. Listen.
Somehow my Christopher Walken turns into Arnold Schwarzenegger somehow.
That's what I want to do. I want to hear Sean. You do a couple of me shitty impressions. Like yeah. What do you got usually on deck?
Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne. You're Batman.
Bruce Wayne. Yeah. My favorite is Jay Moore doing walk-in. He's like, everybody knows the erotic effects of a gerbil in the anus, but who would do it without a leash? That's crazy.
It's insane. This watch was up my ass.
This watch is up my ass for 5 years.
I love the pause when he does that too. That's that whole thing. He's like, this watch, and he just stares at the camera.
His lesser
this watch was up my ass.
His lesser great role where he has a classic line that I'll quote is Joe Dirt, where he goes, does your mother sew? Pow, get her to sew that. You talk to him like that again, I'll stab you in the face with a soldering iron.
At the end, I was just, that's my guy.
I don't like the way you're talking to him. Like, yeah, so that's one of my favorite walk-in.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I loved him in Blast from the Past. Wait, what?
I don't remember that one.
Yeah, that was him, Brendan Fraser, Sissy Spacek. They were like in an underground bunker.
Yeah.
Jeez,
that?
No, I don't remember that.
Alicia Silverstone.
I mean, I should have watched it then. He was the thing, man, back then.
She still is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I 45. I'm not pushing her out of bed. It's
no, of course not. No.
Yeah.
No.
So I got a quick question. How did you become friends with Scott Air?
So through the podcast.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember. I think we might have followed him first or something because we talked about it earlier. You know, I always loved the guy. Like I loved watching him pitch back in the day, and I think he was like, because we were friending certain people on Twitter or Facebook or whatever it was, trying to get guests and stuff. And I guess it was like he came up as a suggestion. I'm like, shit, Scott Air, fuck yeah, clicked him. And then I don't know. I might have just DM'd him and said, "Hey, man, would you have any interest in jumping on?" And absolutely, and that was that, dude. Like he randomly, like, he popped in your show today, and he pops in our show every once in a while. He's busy right now. He's got baseball. He coaches youth baseball.
I was just gonna say, isn't he local? He's coaching.
He's
local?
North Carolina now. He's North
Is he?
Carolina.
He moved.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh wow.
So he kind of does that whole thing, and I've run into him once in a while. He'll come up. I do the Darren Dalton Foundation. We'll go out and do some events with them, and I'll run into him. And
That's one of my favorite Phillies.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's if you ever have a chance to, like, I'm not affiliated with them or anything. I just I just go to their events. But if you ever have a chance to like their celebrity bartending event, or if you have enough dough and do their foursome, the golf thing, it's awesome. Like, the players that are there or that show up, they're all there for the same reason, and they're just, it's a great group of guys and stuff. But and Air's one of them. He'll be right in the middle of everything, and he's just a great guy. It's super nice guy, and I was thrilled that he wanted to be a part of the book. So I got like him, Dykstra. He's got some stories. Same deal. I just hit up Lenny Dykstra. I just said, "Hey, you want to come on the show one time?" And right before we were about to go on, he called me and he said, "Hey, before we go on, let me do a Dykstra. Hey, before we Lenny, can you repeat that? I can't understand you. Like, Jesus. Don't bring him up my family." I'm like, "Lenny, dude, I emulated you as a kid. Like, I literally, his batting stance was my batting stance in Little League. That dip down, even though I bat at righty,
Yep.
The whole thing." And
As soon as you said it, I got into it.
Hey, I'm watching you guys, like, and the whole thing, and I said, "Dude, I love you." Oh, all right, cool, dude. The stories he shared, like, dude, him and Charlie Sheen and the stuff he.
Oh my god.
He didn't want me to bring up his family, but he's talking about Charlie Sheen in a way. I'm like, oh, it was like, I don't know about this. So anyway, I got him to, provide a little bit of info about the '93 team, about the World Series and what things were like afterwards. Brian Propp from the Flyers was a part of it. Bob Cooney does the forward. I know I'm missing people.
I love Bob, by the way.
Yeah, Keith? Didn't you just say Bob Cooney got away from the Sixers right on time?
Oh, man, he went out on such like a kind of, well, first of all, he has so many Cooney's got so many great stories, and I'm sure he can tell you everything about that front office and how it's just kind of fallen apart over the years. But yeah, Cooney kind of made the switch, about 4 years ago, 5 years ago?
Like, yeah, he was doing he would do guest appearances with when Gargano was still with the morning show.
Right.
And then he would like pop in here and there, and then I guess when they switched over, he became like a full-time host.
Amy Fadula kind of is doing that gig right now.
He's starting to do that now, yeah.
Yeah, and I like listening to her. She's got some really good stuff.
They did him dirty though, man. They did Cooney dirty over there. But
what you mean, putting him into the afternoons?
No, he's gone now. They Missinelli. They took when Missinelli joined back up. They got rid of Cooney.
Oh, that's BS.
Yeah, he's but he's got something else in the work. I don't know the details, but he's got something else in the work. So
yeah, I stopped listening to 97.5 because couple of things, and I don't know if you've got an affiliation with them. I'm not trying to blast them.
No, I don't.
But look, every time I listen to a show and every host is openly hostile towards all callers. It's just, I can't stand it. They don't let them talk. We get it. You have the mic. You get paid, no offense, you get paid less than me a year. You don't get paid a ton of money, so this crap about how you're better and all this ego stuff is stupid. And that's not like I'm trying to say I'm better than you because I make more money. I'm just saying they don't pay
people with respect.
Right. Like, what are we doing here? Like, it's not about, like, I get it, you have a mic. I remember Ty hung up on me one time as I was telling a story about the World Series, how I got in. It's an honest story. I didn't pay for a ticket to go to Game 5. But he's like, "You're a liar." And then he hung up on me.
I'm sorry. Like, he's unlistenable. I can't. I don't know how they got the TV deal. I don't know how they done any of that. That show is completely, and I like Ricky Pitalico. It has nothing against him at all. He's basically on the side anyway. That they don't use him except for do reads and stuff like that. It's crazy. Now it's baseball season. They'll go to Ricky a little more because apparently he doesn't know anything else. I guess according to Johnson, but first of all, it sounds like he's chewing glass. So I can't listen to that voice, and I'm really selling the book today, aren't I? It's so funny. I can't do it. And you know what? He's softer than Charmin. I was friends with someone on Twitter, and because I was friends with this particular person, he blocked me. And because he did it to anyone that was affiliated with this particular person. Prince Blue. I don't know if you guys know who Prince Blue is. He's on Twitter. I don't know. He had his own show.
Sweet stuff. That just sounds so sweet and
mild. He would block anyone that was involved with this guy. And I'm like, dude, enough with this guy.
Yeah. So. Yeah, but he called me a liar, or I'm into illegal stuff. And I was trying, because I called a game Part A and Part B, or Part 1 and Part 2. Game 5, Part 1, Part 2. He goes, anyone who was there wouldn't have said that, so you must be lying, and you're... But I really did. I mean, the guy who got me in. Derek, so...
Right. I got in Part 1. If I would have went to Part 2, I'd be doing this from an apartment and single.
Right. His wife said no. My wife said you better go. Right. And I did. And I was there for that. We were there. We were the guys who were giving the Sharpie markers to everyone to sign that big inflatable
Modell's
jersey.
Oh yeah, I remember that thing. Yeah,
I was out front the gate. Both
games, that's awesome.
And giving them and holding kids up so they can sign it higher up. And we were doing all that stuff. You had to just. Derek's like, yo, you have one job. Just be cheerful, smile, hand it to them, make them feel like they're the most important person in the world. No problem. We get into the game. They open up the side gate, and they, usher. There we go. Right. That's exactly. I was like, yo, come on up, guys. Let's do this. And they got us into the game. We didn't have a chair, Sean. We had
sorry.
We had a stand, right? We're watching it from, the concourse.
We were behind home plate, right?
That's awesome, though.
Right. I went to game 4 where Blanton hit the home run.
Yeah.
And then, you were around, you came for game 5, Part 1. And then, like I said, the rain delay happened and my wife would have shanked me if I would have went to Part 2.
So what are we supposed to call that? If you were there, you wouldn't call it Part 1 and Part 2. What the hell are you
lying? Click.
Right.
That's what it was.
What's it called then?
He was like, this guy's a liar. He's clearly not telling the truth about the story.
We do care. We do care that Ty called you a liar.
I'm lying. I don't, you're right. I don't have a ticket to prove it, but I have people that I was there with who did the same thing, and it was...
As if no one's ever gotten to a game for free. Right? Come on. Right. Give me a break.
Dude, my dad, who's always, he's a retired cop. His one buddy, Eddie Sickle, used to always work the Eagles games. He's like, if you want to go in, just let me know. Eddie Sickle will let you in at the vet.
And he lives up the block from me.
I'm like,
that? I knocked on his door a couple months ago to say hi.
Eddie Sickle?
I swear to you, I cannot make that up. He works for the school district.
The security guard,
you
right?
Lie. I'm gonna hang up on you now.
Inspector General.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Small world. I'm out.
I had to hang up on him.
That's awesome.
Sean, before we close it out, I want to kind of give the floor to you. Come on, give us a wholesome. I'm sorry that kind of you're awesome. I love you. Can you give us what people can expect? I will vouch for you. This is a very awesome and easy read.
Hold on. I mean, listen, Jeremy and Keith were both shocked that I started reading this, and they were like, "You can read?" And like I said, I had a bunch of notes written down, and we went sideways, which is good. This is how these things are supposed to go. But this, you need to promote your stuff right now. I need you to talk about this.
Thank you, man. First of all, first and foremost, you guys having me on tonight. intruded on your show. I appreciate it. And we're going to return the favor. We'd love to have you guys on Corner Puff Sports sometime soon. If you guys are, interested, we absolutely love it. In studio or remote or whatever you guys want to do, we can make it work either way, or vice, mix or whatever you want to do. Anyway, so yeah, wrote the book, started writing the book in, trying to think, July of 23. And I finished the first draft in March of 24. And I was working close with an editor. We knocked it out pretty quickly, and the book was out in October of 24. Did an added chapter after the Eagles won the Super Bowl. So any new copies that anyone goes out and purchases has an extra little, a couple extra pages reflected on the season that was. I had to. Once they won and the confetti was falling, I'm like, I have to add a chapter here. It was something that was kind of embedded in my head a couple years ago. Hey, have you ever thought about doing a book? I'm like, yeah, I kind of have. And I knew what I wanted to do it on. I just wanted to do it on being a Philadelphia fan because it's something I'm passionate about, and it's something that we're passionate about, right? Like all of us. You guys are doing a podcast. Why? Because you're passionate about sports. You love talking sports. You love hanging with your friends. And that's what this is about. I mean, I appreciate you guys bringing it up, the fact that it's an easy read. When I started writing it, I was very descriptive, using a lot of adjectives, using a lot of words that I wouldn't normally use in a sentence, right? And I'm like, this isn't me. Like, I want this to come from a Philly fan for a Philly fan. Like, not every Philadelphia fan is going to use a 10-cent word. Like, no offense, but like, we don't go around saying stuff like that. So I wanted to kind of make it easy read. My editor helped me out with making it flow a little bit better, with the way things were kind of laid out. The chapters were like different, before, and she's like, nope, do this. Did it. I loved it and put it out that way. And it's just, it's basically a reflection of what it's really like to be a Philadelphia sports fan. Whether you're a Philadelphia fan, you're going to enjoy the stories that are here, not only for myself, but there's other guests in the book, other fans. You guys know E-Rock.
E-Rock, yeah,
who does big things with the Eagles. Yeah, E-Rock. Got Matt Edwards, who does the relief room, which is awesome. Like, he has an entire bathroom dedicated to relief pitchers. Psychopaths like that. All right. And then I have, stories from athletes like Scott Air, Lenny Dykstra, Brian Propp, Ed Kratz, who covers the Eagles for Sports Illustrated. He has a nice section in there. My co-hosts, Mike, Gary, and Ryan from Corner Puff Sports, they're involved. And I just, I'm really proud of it. I feel it. I feel it hits home. And it asks the question at the end, basically, is have we turned over a new leaf? And we kind of hit on in the show. And like I said, it wasn't necessarily a spoiler, but I do think we have. We're not the rough and, we can still be rough and tumble, but we're not our grandparents going to the games anymore, throwing batteries and doing dumb shit like that. Like, we still do some dumb stuff, like eat horse shit.
Or throw our own dollar hot dogs away.
Right, or the bracelets on the ice at Snyder, like that. I was at that game. It was not I didn't throw one, but it wasn't a proud moment to be a Philadelphia sports fan. We still do things like that here and there. But look around. People are getting murdered outside of Detroit, leaving a Lions game, or Dodgers fans are getting beaten to death by Giants fans in the parking lot, like over a baseball game. It's insane. That stuff's not happening here. No. Yeah, on a Tuesday night, someone's getting murdered in Philadelphia, but it's not because of sports. It's just because they it has nothing to do with sports. We got out,
I want to point out to people right here. I don't know if they can see on the screen here. No, 3 hour it's a suggested 3 hour read, right?
Oh yeah, okay.
Which is amazing because like guys, come on, let's be honest. This is a good read. Because I don't think this story is over. I think this can be a series at this point. You know what I mean? It's the anatomy of like there's infancy, and then there's adolescence, and then there's like a little more maturity into like a young adulthood. So I do feel like we are evolving as a city and as a fandom. I don't always like what we're becoming, and I sometimes feel like we do have to say no to each other. Do you think that's okay for us to correct one another?
I think so, especially us being the elders, I guess, of the sports fan. Especially just somebody younger. I work with a couple of people who are younger sports fans, early 20s, 20, 21 years old, and I'm like, dude. The one dude's telling me that Tyrese. This is last year. Tyrese Maxey is going to be better than Allen Iverson, and I'm like, dude, you have no idea what you're talking about. Like, you have no idea. Like, no. Well, he's really good. Yes, he is really good. He's a good ball player. He is not Allen Iverson. But other things like that, like they just go down to Xfinity and watch the get completely shit-faced and go to Xfinity, and that's the thing now, right? And that actually is going to be even worse because now they're going to be opening more stuff down there. So it's going to be more about the social aspect than the game itself. I'm not saying all those fans are like that, but there's a lot of people who don't really care, who go down and just want to just party and mingle and stuff, as opposed to really doing the X's and O's and paying attention to the game and stuff like that.
A lot of my students will want to learn baseball when they see that I have an interest in it. They see all my sports stuff in my classroom, so they'll make statements like, "Oh, what's that? Like, what's that about? Like, what's going on? Like," or I'm like, "Well, the pitch, it's never been a better time to get into baseball. The pitch clock has made it a less than a 3-hour affair, and it keeps it moving along. This is the best time to ever learn."
Yeah, 100%.
It's funny, and you had mentioned in your book about two things: E-Rock and peeing on your seat. And I think that's the thing where when someone talks bad about Philadelphia sports fans, I think that's kind of like where we get like really offended. Like, no. Only we Philadelphia fans can talk about each other. I'm not having someone else tell me that my fan base sucks. I know how good my fan base is. Like right here, like me, E-Rock, in Giant Stadium.
That's cool. That's awesome.
So I am not going to let somebody talk about my fans when, I've never met this guy in person. And then, obviously I had the El Luchador mask on and he just wants to take a picture and hang out. And that's just how Philadelphia sports is. Like, I was in Nashville in May. I wore Eagles overalls. Do you know how many Go Birds I heard from walking from my Airbnb to Broadway?
Awesome.
Like if I would have did a tally, it would have been like 1,000. And it's a term of endearment. And I think that's like in the part of your book when you were saying, don't talk about our fans. Like don't pee on our seat and talk about it. Like, we talk about it. You're not allowed.
Yeah, only we can piss. Well, only we can piss on ours. You're not gonna come in my home and piss on my seat. Only I can piss on my seat.
Yes.
The minute I do it, that's kind of an opening and I let you come over and sniff. That's a way for you to be like, all right, come on over here.
Yeah.
Like, I may let you in on it. One of the things that Fuzzy and I did was we went to PNC. No, I'm sorry. Is that PNC Park?
Beautiful ballpark.
Me, you, and JV.
No.
Yes, it was JV's.
Yeah, we went out for I took the guys out there after the wedding.
Great ballpark.
Lots of go Phils, and then we went to Cleveland, and we still were getting a lot of go Phils out there, weren't we?
Yeah, they're like, we respect your organization. You guys spend money.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Harper, I was wearing a Harper jersey. Go Phils! Like, it's so. I think there is a respect obviously out there. It is. We sometimes don't see it because we want to be kind of subjugated to being like the underdog because that's always cooler for us.
Yeah, I agree, but I also like the fact that I think it was last year, and you had actually brought it up in the book. T.O. was being interviewed by a San Francisco 49er station, and they were like, "Oh, who's the better fan base? Is it San Fran or Dallas?" And he was like, "Philadelphia." And they did not take that well.
What?
They were sick. They did not handle it really well. And I think that is, you remember, he only played here 2 years.
Mm-hmm. Not even a year and a half, really.
A year and a half.
Yeah.
And, we all know the situation. I still say McNabb did not handle that well. He did not appreciate the love that T.O. got. And I still love the guy. And, for T.O. to say that after 2 years, after playing in a market like San Fran and Dallas, he was like, no way. It's Philadelphia through and through. And, you brought it up. They did not handle it well because of the whole Brock Purdy situation getting hurt. And that, to me, that goes to show you what sports means to this. And we do, and like you said, we do care. If we didn't care, people like T.O., who played 20 games, wouldn't come out and say that we were the best fans in sports.
If we didn't care, we wouldn't be having podcasts.
Yep.
Perfect. Yep. 100%.
Listen, my Philly page was started because I was irritated and I cared because of the whole Carson Wentz situation. That's why we started. I was like, I need somewhere to vent because Philly sports radio is the absolute worst.
Still is.
Well, I mean,
It's
it hasn't
funny.
changed.
Your stuff's all over, man. Congrats on that, dude. It's blowing up like crazy. It's awesome stuff.
So
I
want
to Denver, a buddy in Denver. Actually, Jamie Zimenoff. He commented on the feed earlier, and he's like, "Yo, check this out." I'm like, "Funny thing you just sent that." I'm like, like, yeah.
Can I tell them what you missed? Can I tell them?
You want to tell them how we blew up?
No. Well, no. That's up to you to decide. That's your.
No, I'm going to do that. But go ahead.
No, don't. Can I tell them? J Roll. It was definitely him. J Roll commented a week ago on our. And
he did.
These doofuses missed it. Like they didn't.
Because listen, I also get Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts.
No, this was legit. J Roll. Like
J-Roll
his daughters are all over his Facebook page.
I was gonna say he's on Instagram too. Yeah. He is on Instagram because he commented on something on because Shane Vittorino posted something and I wrote something and he actually wrote thanks or something. I don't even remember what it was at this point, but it was like that's pretty cool.
Here's the thing: it was such a J Roll thing. It was posted like a J Roll highlight of one of the home runs.
It was J Roll's walk-off hit against Broxton, and it was the scene in Goodfellas where Ray Liotta, and it was Francie's call.
And someone said that was Francie's best call ever. J Roll Rose absolutely was. That's like you could tell it was just
that's like cool.
Yeah, you could tell it was a classy comment by J Roll to not talk about his walk-off, but to say something about Fransky in the moment.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So these doofuses missed it, but I'm like, how do you miss J Roll? It's J Roll. So,
but again, I saw it, but I'm always like, you get the Jalen Hurts, thank you for supporting me this year, and Saquon Barkley, thank you for supporting me this year. Yeah. Like, come on,
I'll give you tickets to a game next year. Like, come on, man.
Just like this guy.
This one,
lease.
One thing I'm sorry. One last thing I want to mention about the book, and this is I
want you to also promote the book signing.
That's exactly what I was doing.
Cool.
So Wednesday, and the reason why I was actually brought to you guys, our mutual friend Derek owns Monkey's Uncle, which is a great shop in Doylestown. It's awesome, retro. There you go, perfect. I love that shirt too. I was looking at that earlier.
Yeah,
but he's got a bunch of new Philly stuff that just dropped. I'm probably going to pick up some stuff for the kids or whatever when I'm there. But Wednesday, this upcoming Wednesday at 7:00, I'm doing a book signing meet and greet. I think we're doing a little Q&A session. So it's $25, but gives you a copy of the book, beer, wine. I think there might be some snacks and stuff like that. And then more importantly, proceeds are going to Homers for Hope, which is a fundraiser for families dealing with childhood cancer in North Wales. So, so come on out. Check out Monkey's Uncle on Facebook. Actually, Instagram, all that stuff. But they have an event page set up for the event on Facebook. If you go to Monkey's Uncle on Facebook, you can find the page there. Or just go to monkeysuncle.net, I believe it is. And they'll have the link for the book signing there.
And it's also on the Philly page.
Cool.
Yeah, I have it on there, and I'll put it up on the Broken Bell Network page as well.
Awesome.
If you give me the details, I'll be getting into CapCut, and I'll throw together a nice little commercial thing for it.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, like I said, monkeysuncle.net. Homers for Hope. It's a great organization. What they do, like I said, they're supporting a family from North Wales with childhood cancer. So I'll have that link up too. If you can't make the event and you want to donate to Homers for Hope, just click on the link. I donate like $10 every other week. I try to, because like they have a baseball team and then they present a check. At their home, and they pick a game. So it's a good organization. So
It's awesome. Yeah, just I thank you guys for having me on, and hope to see some people out there on Wednesday at Monkey's Uncle in Doylestown. Should be a lot of fun. Looking forward to it, and this was a blast, guys. I appreciate it.
no, it was not what I was expecting. I was this was a lot of fun. It really was a lot of fun. It's something like I said, we all love doing podcasts, and as long as we're all supporting each other, we're not all gazillionaires. We're not looking to make money off this. We're out here. It's a hobby. It's a hobby for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hobby for Keith. It's a hobby for JV, who coaches 34 teams. So for him to be here tonight, that is a special treat as well.
Thank you, Jay. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Jay.
Thanks, Jay.
Thank you for tuning in. That's one of your guys, right?
Yeah. He's always, man. He's one of our other guys does another show. He's always tuned in, and man, he's very supportive, and for sure, he's an awesome dude.
We're trying to break into the YouTube algorithm, and that's just like it's tough. It is tough.
So you had a YouTube comment earlier, yeah.
When we get off air, I'll explain to you how our page blew up.
Okay.
It's literally the American way. Keith makes fun of it all the time.
It is the American way, my guy. JV, do you want to? I know you're the intro guy. Do you want to be the outro guy?
Well, again, thank you, Sean, for joining us from Corner Pub Sports. Everybody go out on Wednesday to Monkey's Uncle and do the check him out at the signing. Tell him that you saw us here. You saw him here. What do we got? We got coming up this week. We got on Tuesday. We'll have the Hall of Fame Club going back and talking about the Phillies off this great series with the Dodgers. Is Philly going again this week?
Philly is
the draft.
Philly is on a hiatus till our 4-hour live draft show.
All right. So start prepping up for that one. Load up the beers. Get ready for the draft. Other than that, again, thank you guys for joining us on the Broken Belt Network. This has been the Northeast Philly podcast, and have a great night.
The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.